find your competition, find the people who are doing good, and then study them. And then you make your own mountain. Don't climb their mountain, but you make your own, build the brand and everything, and make even the flyers better.
Good morning. This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? You know, I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it, but I would highly recommend for you to get these or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education.
Welcome back, Alchemists. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Amarelo, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra from his backyard in the Black Hills of California.
Doing amazing, brother. Amazing. When I got up this morning at 4 o'clock and I do my morning routine, I wanted to say to everybody, it's so important to pay gratitude. Gratitude to everybody around you, above you, who brought you into this world. And that's what I was thinking today. Really thanking my grandparents, my parents, and then my wife and my family. It's so important to pay gratitude. And then my mentors, so many mentors who have really shaped my life.
So Vinney Chopra, you're the mentor to many people. So there's many people who are grateful for you and your existence. 72 years young, we just celebrated your birthday.
Yeah.
So the day of your birth, back in India, and you moved all the way over here to $7 later, then into the $1.3 billion of real estate, $1.6 billion worth of real estate, raising $280 million. It's been a long journey, and you're still just getting started. This is still just the beginning. You got new ventures coming in. We're going to talk a little bit about some of those today. And principle for everybody who is unfamiliar with what we do here, we have 52 principles, and me and Vinney, we break them down before going to the 52 wealth principles on Saturdays. Vinney, this principle is 43. It is systemizing your business so it grows without you, so you can scale and get yourself out of the business. Most entrepreneurs get into business because they think that's going to be less work than where they were originally. And then they get in, they realize, oh my God, like my boss before was really nice. Now the boss I have today makes me work 80 hours, 120 hours. Sometimes they don't pay me. Entrepreneurship is something you've been doing for 50 years, Vinney? You've been an entrepreneur?
Yes, almost 50 years, brother. I was there in Bombay and also then side hustle. And then I came here for my MBA in marketing. Some people might know with $7. And the quest was to be a better person, to be able to have this land of opportunities, pay back and pay forward to everybody around me, so that when you give so much out, like Zig Ziglar says, more comes in your life. And I really believe in that principle. I really do. So you're right. The thing is, as an entrepreneur, solopreneur or entrepreneur with so many people around you and in your organizations and starting more businesses, one thing which I really remember, Built to Last, a book by Dave Collins, The Magic of Using and instead of are. If you replace, I can only do this and this or that, you'll be limited in your potential, in your abundance, what you can do. You'll be in shackles, you'll be in chains, all there. If you replace that or with and, I can do this, I can also do that, and I can also do that, and I can also do that, and I can also do this. Some people may disagree with me, but the thing is, once you set up your mind that you can do more than one or two things, it's possible by really utilizing this principle we're going to talk about today.
So, Vinny, in business, it is possible to not just have a machine that you hate. It is actually possible to enjoy your business. I think that you've gotten to a point where your positivity has brought you profitability. And a lot of
Yes.
entrepreneurs currently think that the hard work alone is going to get them free, because we've heard all of these people say hard work. Although you
Mhm.
and I have both talked about it is hard work, it's absolutely necessary. There are steps and actually systems that should be built inside of a business. I don't want to shit on anybody, but there are steps that should be built inside a business so that you can step away from the business. So this principle, systemize your business so it works without you, doesn't mean that you don't still own the business, doesn't mean you're not still responsible, but it does mean that with great systems, you
Mhm.
could step back from the business and it would actually run probably better without the entrepreneur in the business every day.
I'm telling you, you hit the nail on the head. The CEOs, the solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, you get out of the way. I know so many people who can do the kind of things that I hate to do much better than me. So why not to give that baton in their hand, set up a system, automated system of meeting with them, accountability is then transferred from my time commitment and actions to their time commitment and actions. So the key thing for a solopreneur or entrepreneur is to pass on the responsibility and the torch to the people who can do that job better.
And now we're jumping into a whole topic that people make mistakes with. There's a difference between delegating and abdicating, right? Delegation would be where you actually hand something to somebody and you stay in touch with them, you coach them, you guide them, like you said, you're giving them these
Yes.
scheduled times where you check base, check in with them.
Hmm.
And then there's
Hmm.
abdication, which is not what we do, but abdication is where you just give it to somebody and you walk away. And usually that leads to disappointment and frustration in the business.
Totally, totally. And we zap them. Hold on. This is a very big subject. See, when we don't train the people, we don't make their job easier, we don't really give them every tool possible for them to do their job. Who is to be blamed? We are.
We
We
are.
should be blamed because we pass on the torch without giving proper hiring the right person is the big thing. Hold on. That's even before we get this possibility travel to the traverse to them is the big thing is to hire the right person who's motivated, who's got can do factors and will do factors. We talk about that always, right? But then you find out if they can handle that. Can they stretch? Can they understand? Can they see what the SOPs are, standard operating procedures? Can they follow those? And then you give it to them and then you set up the accountability. But don't zap them. Don't zap them because you did not train them right. And then you say, hey, you're not doing it. What's going on with you? And you don't even talk to them for many weeks. And then you zap them.
I was just taking the notes that you sent me and dropping them into the comments on the post I made on Facebook in Alchemist Nation, because this there's 9 steps that you sent over that make actually a lot of sense. And we just skipped over a few of them really quickly. So I want to go back, and this is for the entrepreneurs who are like, I need a systematic process. So
Yeah,
step one, you put into how the company runs, identifying key processes. What are the main 3 key processes that an entrepreneur has to, like the CEO, the top of the company, if it's a company of one person, what are the 3 processes they have to look at in order to know the company's doing well or if it's not doing well?
totally. I think the biggest thing is your vision. How clear are you in your vision of accomplishing certain goals? Then from there, it goes into financial projections and making sure that everybody in your team, when you hire the right team, that's the other process. And then you change that, give that, transform that vision into their. So it's first the vision, the plan that what you want to accomplish. Second is to hire the right people. And then the third is to really give them everything possible, and then accountability. Revenues, sales are the engine of any business. If people really want to do well in any business, they got to understand the numbers. They need to understand the ratios. It's the calling ratio, the demo ratio, the presentation ratios, and then making sure that the size of their product, is it small, medium, large product? All those things follow into that. But the key thing is, if no revenues, there is no sales, there is no, and expenses amount to so much. And unless there is profitability, which is the end result of all these three things, you cannot survive.
So to recap some of that, it's identify the key process, which is profitability, it's your operations, it's your finances. The second thing you said is define or desired outcomes. So this would be a profitable company that also creates impact. Third thing you sent me was map and document the process. And then the fourth one is assign roles. Fifth one is determine timing and resources. But I want to go back to this map and document the process, because I know this is where most entrepreneurs drop off. And maybe it's just
Yes.
me and all the people I've coached, but it seems like they get the vision, they know what they want to do. And the vision's usually very blurry, it's not very clear. They know what they want to do, they get their goals set. Again, usually the goals are very blurry, even though we do the SMART system. Every entrepreneur knows what
Mm-hmm.
SMART goals are. Let's say they get past the blurriness of those and they get to super clarity. Mapping and documenting seems to be the bane of the existence of the entrepreneur. They don't want to, they're afraid to sit down and document, this is what I do step by step. Is there a way that you found, because I know you automatically just go straight to hire the right people. It seems like every time we have a conversation, you're like, just go to the right people. And how does an entrepreneur hire the right people without documenting the process? Or is there a person you hire who documents the process?
No, good point. Very
Or do
good
the right
point.
people document the process? Because maybe that's
See,
the step.
the key thing is we hire wrong people because we don't know ourselves what we want them to do. So the job description and the qualifying questions and the history of the candidate, their success, because you cannot change overnight. You cannot. Habits are formed over time. By asking behavioral questions and asking them where they have been, it's the right thing to really not hire the first person ever. You got to seek out several people, and then you contemplate and look at where their will do factors will be, what their can do factors, what kind of degrees they have, what kind of accomplishments they have. Because if they have been successful before, there is probability they'll be successful here too.
I like
And
that. And I'm going to say that for the entrepreneur who's having this problem with the mapping and the documenting, I've found, Whitney's talking about, I found if you get somebody who already does this somewhere else, they'll tend
yes,
to document for you and they'll bring in a
yes.
system. But you have to be clear with them up front that you do not have a system, and that's part of what they're going to have to build. And you'll usually attract a much better quality person because now they own the system from day one.
I love that, what you just said, brother. And that's what I'm doing in establishing my whole new company in Arizona. We hired a great manager, operator, 18 plus years of experience, who has been managing RALs, residential assisted livings, for 18 years, but she's been in Arizona 27 years. I'm passionate and everything. And we are starting from scratch. I don't have even the policies and manuals or anything. Buying them. I love investing money where I don't have to do the thing. I'll pay $1,000 to buy this 500 pages document, which it will cost me time and money to produce that. So we are getting that. We got all the applications, we got everything, we got the logos. So we are building the system from ground up.
So you're building the system from ground up and also leveraging pre-existing systems, slapping your
Yes,
logos on them, getting the
you
brand.
got it.
So entrepreneurs, unless your business is brand new, never been an entrepreneur before with a business like this, which I doubt anybody on this call is operating a brand new type of business. If
Not
you're
at
in real
all.
estate, right? It's
Every
been
kind of
done. It's
business.
been
I
documented.
would say every business that you think they exceed, maybe 0.5% of the whole equation is where it's brand new. I always feel, find your competition, find the people who are doing good, and then study them. And then you make your own mountain. Don't
I
climb their mountain, but you make your own, build the brand and everything, and make even the flyers better. When we had that many, now we have sold so many, but she's so creative, right? So anyway, but the big thing is you've got to document. You got to have all the systems in place so that God forbid something happens to the person that you hired. Now we want 10 homes in the next 1 year, let's say. So I'm designing the systems, automations, and everything from scratch so that we could duplicate it like a clockwork into second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth.
And so as we were talking, Vinny's been working on this for a while now. He's built many businesses, he's invested in 30 businesses at the moment. Number 5 is determine timing and resources, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get into a scenario quickly and then have the resources to develop it. So the systems, the roles, the people, the mapping out of the systems leads into timing and resources. So how much time a task is allocated in the beginning is probably more than it should because you're building up systems and all of this. But eventually you get to levels of economies where you actually get economies of scale and you vertically integrate. How do you know which phase you're in? And then how do you make that shift?
Hold on. As we are starting it, brother, we are meeting every day. As a CEO of this business, I need to set the stage and the vision where we are going. I need to be in the meetings. I need to make sure that every small thing, big thing, accounting side, automation side, prescription side, marketing side, manual, all these things. And not only that, furnishing of these homes and making sure we get the right things. And we got the televisions and so all that, and now the cables and all these things. So small, minute details have to be taken care of. I am buck stops with me. So I am getting involved every day for maybe hour, 2 hours. But that's guess what? Once I build it, I won't be even there.
So it's heavy work in the beginning for the entrepreneur, right? So determine the times, the resources.
Yeah.
You in the beginning set a lot of the tone, and then people follow that afterwards. So number 6, we have implement automation. This is that
Yeah.
part where you get to separate and step away. How do you know
Yes.
something is good enough to start implementing automation? Because I've gone and done automations very early in my career and very early in the business and noticed the automations were automating the wrong thing. So how do you know it's time to step back and that you got something good enough to start automating it?
Oh, I'm so glad you're asking me this question. I'm the kind of guy I want the P&Ls at the fingertips, profit and loss statement. I want the bank statements all synchronized, everything in the system. I want the rent roll at the spec of any 24 hours. I need to know how each of the RAL is doing. And you know what? We are using the system Rent Manager. We decided last week we've been using Rent Manager, a property management system, amazing system for the last 17 years. Then we went to Yardi and RealPage and Appfolio, very big, expensive systems. But RALs are only 10 rooms. That's all. So 10 rooms means room one, room two, room three, room four, room five. And then you're able to do all the invoicing and everything through there. You could do all the revenues coming in, expenses going out. So this is what I believe automation is the best way. Our accounting department is getting synchronized with the operations side, and it's going to be clockwork. It's going to be so easy to manage. People sometimes look at everything in a big gorilla. In my thinking, engineering mind, I like to simplify. I just said, you know what? I'm going to just get the systems that make sense. I'm going to tailor them. I'm going to devise new systems. I had to sell that system to my team. I said, rent manager. She said, Vinny, that's for apartments. I said, guess what? RAL is an apartment with 10 rooms.
This is perfect. So you implement technology as a part of the automation system, and then property management software is a big part of that. And I love that you named a whole bunch of the property management softwares that we've used in the past
Yes.
as well. So
Hmm.
number 7 is set standards and metrics. Number 8 is test and revise the systems. And then number 9 is foster a culture of continuous improvement. What are some of the standards and metrics that you look for early in the business? And then as it develops and grows, how does that change where you're
Oh
going back
my.
and revising?
I'm so glad you're saying that. I was able to spend 1.5 hours with our manager, and I said, you know what? Let's go through the P&L budget. So I did the whole thinking along with her and looked at the expenses and what it will be for having only two seniors in RAL. You can get 10 right away. So as we get the license right away in 2 weeks or so, the two seniors, where are they going to come from? Are we doing marketing? When they come in, how many caregivers do we need? Can one caregiver take care of that plus the manager? Then grocery bills and this and utilities and mortgage and all. So we were able to look at the whole P&L. See, the thing is, business will be only good as good you are with the numbers. Now she saw what I was doing. So she was able to bring down the payroll. Now she was a team player. She saw that I'm going to lose in first month this much money, $23,000 or something. Then second month, four people in the RAL. She says, you know what? I'm going to strive to have five people. So that was even from her side. She's trying to say, oh my gosh, you know what? Instead of getting four people at 5,000 a piece, that's 20,000 a month revenue. I can get 25,000. She says, no, we'll have memory care senior come in. They will pay 8,000 for the room. So now from 5 to 8 for one or two rooms. So our goal now is to have 10 seniors, maybe seven, assisted living and three memory care.
This way, you're offsetting some of the expenses. You're
Yes,
leveraging the rooms
yes,
because you have a limited amount
yes,
of rooms in that
yes,
market. I love that you're going back and setting the standards and moving the bar. It's okay, we can bring on this staff once we brought on this income. So it's
yes,
income based versus let's just put all the staff we need and bleed for
yes,
3 months or 4 months until we get the whole thing built
exactly.
up.
Exactly. Then I showed her second year. I said, no, we are at 10. We were going to keep them consistent with marketing and everything. Some people, seniors, they die or they have to go to a hospital and things like that. So we need a good, solid system of keeping people in the pipeline and building the brand and name and uniqueness of our RAL in a nice location in Scottsdale area so that we could really benefit the seniors. The overarching goal is to give them the best of the best experience so that the word gets out. Hey, desert blooms homes are the best homes.
And
And
you're really looking at this as an operator of senior assisted livings, larger buildings, saying, you know what,
totally.
let's keep the marketing going. Let's make sure we have
Yes,
a waiting list inside the building.
yes,
This is
yes,
not how small operators think. Small operators are like, oh, we filled it once, and then vacancies show up. They happen to them. Like, oh, this happened. You're preparing for the inevitable vacancy to occur
totally,
and saying, let's just make
totally.
sure the marketing never gets shut off. Like any business should never shut off the marketing.
Never shut off the marketing, never, ever. Because as we get into lull, if we are not taking care of the funnel, talk about that right on the top, we got to have a good name so that when this doctors and hospitals and everybody in Scottsdale, all that, they say, hey, I have to place a senior, they think about Desert Blooms Homes. So Desert Blooms Homes is our logo, and I got Desert Blooms Arizona.co, the website. And I'm going to do that in Washington, in Las Vegas. So on the West Coast is my goal, and California also. I'm young. I'm only 27 or 72, one of the two, right? I'm only
72 years.
27.
I love that you buy the domains. So this is something people don't know, but you and I have gone and looked at your domains together. You are in charge of the domains. You're in charge of the making sure to
Yes,
redirect and making sure they're all set up.
everything. Yeah, Maz.
Super
Maz
cool.
does a great job. Maz is a great friend of mine and from Pakistan, and he's such a great person. He looks after all my websites, all my work processes, blogs, everything. He's built so many of the websites for my students and my friends, and recommend him thoroughly. And he's very reasonable. That's the good part I like. I mean, people charge 5,000. He was able to build that website for 350 for my manager in Arizona. I said, it's my gift to you. So I'm going to build your website for you in RAL. And she was so excited. It's a beautiful website. Now he's going to duplicate that for us because I wanted him to have it run because websites are mostly cloned. As you know, you find the different good ones and then you ask your webmaster to clone them and then you put your touch to it and everything like that, right?
Russell
So
Brunson
that's
calls it
what it
funnel
is.
hacking. You go, you see a website that's
That's
already doing, you
yeah.
modify around it, but
Hmm.
you don't change any
Hmm.
of the important stuff, and you funnel hack the site
Totally.
until your traffic is working at the same level.
Completely.
So we're at
Totally.
the top of the podcast here. Vinny, before we
Yes.
jump off, I know the summit's coming up. You're going to be talking about senior assisted living, about
Yes.
residential assisted living, the silver tsunami, why certain industries are working, why other industries aren't working, and where the $39.9 trillion is right now in the market that's available for investors to
Hmm.
invest. One of the questions that I know we're going to get a lot of people asking is, Vinny, why are you still doing it? At 72 years young, why are you still investing? Why are you still moving money around? Why are you still, why still?
I'm 72, brother. 92. God give me energy and strength and everything. And with this technology now, you can buy ankles, you can buy knees, you can buy anything, right? Elbows. So hopefully, if I really stay my mind, that's why we do this abundance mindset show, because if you're able to really keep your mind and your energy, and there are lull days, there are down days too. But the big thing is be creative, be always involved in certain pursuit. It could be, you know, working like me. I just look forward to every morning to add value to everybody around me, and especially now with silver tsunami going through USA. 11,200 people turning 65 every night. There is 4,000 people turning 85 every night. There is a $1.3 million shortage of beds in assisted living. It just motivates me to really build these communities all over and teach people so that they could build them in their backyards and everything. So I would say it's I want to be worthwhile person. I want to be contributing to the society and to really keep my mind, get me out of trouble. I'm telling you, people who are really active, once they don't become active, they really wither away and they just try to do wrong things. I've been married 44 years and I know I'll be a big burden and I'm doing this and that. But the thing is, just be active because if we are active, we feel good. If you're growing, volunteer, do something, have some schedule every day. Because if you don't have a schedule and watch and play and everything, do everything that you want to do in life.
That is the secret to living longer. I watched the videos on the blue zones, and they said being involved in community, volunteering, eating right, exercising daily, which we know you do.
Yes.
That's how people live to be
Yes.
over 100 years old. You've
Yes.
seen it here. Vinny Chopra growing and still expanding and pouring into the community and helping others. This is something we do every single Thursday. It's Abundance Thursdays. We do it 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're jumping off, but cheers to your success. If you have a choice, always work with the best. If you haven't gotten your tickets to the summit, go to alchemiststation.com, register.
Go
If
ahead.
you want to learn more about Vinny Chopra, go to vinnychopra.com, figure out what he's doing, go look at some of his past deals, and possibly invest with one of his future deals if he ever opens a fund again. We'll see you next week, Vinny.
See you next week, brother. See you next week.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.